Hey, ladies and gents, this is Mike Headley. We are back with another great one on the Headley Real Estate Show, where the show is designed for real estate professionals, whether you're licensed or unlicensed. We're here to give you information, education, and guidance to help you with your career in the wonderful world of real estate and anything that's centered around real estate, which we have a brother today who I actually met at a great conference, actually this past weekend, called InvestFest, their first conference, and we want to get shouts to the Earn Your Leisure podcast for doing such a wonderful job. But without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to the talented brother, Mr. Michael Baker Jr. with Giving Investments LLC. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Man,
happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Oh man, this is a good thing, man. You know, one thing about our show is I've always harbor on authenticity. And it's like, yo, you be who you are, right? Don't try to be like nobody else. And so we need to curse a little bit. We need to be real, just like we having a conversation. We make it happen, right? We're going to have fun, right? So one thing I like about this young brother, like I said, I met him. He had a lot of enthusiasm, and you know, you never judge a book by its cover. The first upon initial, me meeting him, actually we met in line and we was going to get some food, and the brother was behind me, and there was another young lady, I was talking to while we was moving in line, and you would think people come to the conference, you would think that they're not as further along in their endeavor as you think. Okay, well maybe they just be start. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. This brother right here doing some wonderful things. You think this brother's a veteran in the game, this brother's skill, knowledge, and hold on to your seatbelt. He's gonna light you with some good stuff. So Mike, talk to me, because I prefer to be called Mike.
Yeah, you call me Mike, man. We can be Mike in the afternoon, I guess.
I got you. At the closing table, what we prefer to be called?
At the closing table, they call me Michael most of the time. Okay. Because sometimes people I deal with, you just got to be
correct. Correct.
So,
I got you.
Especially the market, I mean.
So this brother right here specializes in, and again, you interject anytime. Wholesaling.
Yeah, right. Yes, wholesaling. Main.
Wholesaling, main thing. Mm-hmm. Airbnbs.
Got some Airbnbs, yep.
And the brother do the ultimate thing. He does the car rental business, and we're going to tap into that. Is there any other form of business?
Mobile homes.
I forgot. That's right. Mobile homes. Like, this brother's multi-talented. So listen, we're going to learn some good stuff. So Mike, let's talk about this whole investment beginning journey. What was that spark? What made you say, you know something? Because there's all kinds of investments out here. What made you say, I want to get in? You started off with wholesaling. What was that?
Right. All right. So back in 2019, I was 19 years old, right? I go right along.
Oh, brother. How old are you now?
I'm 21. I'm 21. 21.
Oh my God, brother. But go ahead, carry on.
Yeah. So I started back in 2019. I was playing football in college. And when I was playing football in college, I came back home one semester, and I was like, it was after my freshman year, I was like, I'm not going back to school, right? I started at this marketing firm, going door to door. So, that's a hustle already. Just like wholesaling. Anybody know wholesaling? That's a hustle, right? So I'm going door to door, and I'm like, I already had this like entrepreneurship bug, because the reason I went to the marketing firm, because I was looking for an internship, because I had my first business was F&P digital marketing, and I was doing digital marketing. Okay. So I had a couple of real estate clients and everything like that was doing marketing for on Facebook and stuff. So when I came back, I said, I'm not going to school. I started working at this marketing firm. There was, the little marketing firm, the MLM. Oh, you're going to move up. You get your own office. You do all that, right? Pyramid. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's the best thing that anybody could do, really. It's like, once you go to those type of businesses, it's like, so if you're in school for business, that's like going to business school full 4 years in like 4 months. They teach you so much. They teach you so much. Now, the structure of it, I mean, it may not be fair to some people, but if you're a hustler, it'll work out. Now, I know sometimes it don't work out for some people. People feel like it's a scam, but really, you got to take that knowledge that you learned there and apply it somewhere else. And that's what all I did with everything that I do, right? So all I did was I was like, all right, cool. I said, you know what? I'm going to end up going back to school. I ended up going to school my sophomore year. And as I was in school, I'm playing football still. They convinced me to come back on, right? They convinced me to come back on. I was at Jacksonville University. And my partner, my old partner, at the time, he was doing wholesaling. He did one deal in 1 month, made $7,000, right? So I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. But I wasn't thinking about doing it really. But we also worked at the same market firm, but I knew him since we was younger. Like we're way younger. So he's like, hey man, we're gonna do a business together one day. We're gonna do a business together one day. So when I went to school, I was still doing the digital marketing. He was like, hey man, I came back for like during Christmas time, doing a break. And he's like, hey, I got that deal back in, I think it was like September, but I couldn't get another deal since then. Like, you know how the beginners look, you just, you run across something, you get it, and you just close it. You just like, wow, closing the month. Some people take 8 months to close their first deal, 2 years.
8 months, like, exactly.
I've seen it. So he was just like, so I know you in marketing already. And there's a tip. He said, I know you in marketing already. So how about you come on with me? Wholesaling is nothing but marketing marketing to find houses, undervalued, put them up, sell it to somebody else for a higher price.
Correct.
That's all it is. So he was like, you already do marketing. I'll show you the real estate and we can learn this together. So we basically started learning this together. He gave me the baseline of it and we was watching YouTube day in, day out, just learning day in, day out, like trial and error, trying to figure out what to do. And that's how I got brought into it. I came back, we started the company together, made our LLC, got after it, so.
Wow. So brother, let's unpack a lot of that there, right? You basically took the approach of, hey, I was in another company, and instead of saying, yo, this right here is not working out for me, in the short run, I've learned the skill set what I need, and I applied it to another business, right?
Yes.
The brother made $7,000 in a day, and that inspired you, right?
Yeah, right.
I said, okay, well, look, I can do my own thing here. Now you're along this journey.
Yeah.
And you said, you know something, I need to go and get the information, but without me hiring a coach, and I don't want to speak for you, I don't know if you paid for a program. You went to the best university out there, which is YouTube. We started and we're doing it together. And I tell anybody to do wholesaling, get a partner if you can, because it's a journey. It's a tough journey, definitely. But like I say, I was already working at that marketing firm. You hear no all day long. That's all it is. You hear no. You get used to hearing no, but that every no you hear, you get closer to that yes. So that's what I took that approach to everything. So I'm like, all right, we may not. I didn't come in think we was gonna get a deal as fast as we did, because we took maybe like 2 months, 3 months finally to close the deal. But we was both in there together. We're just going after it on YouTube. They're just teaching each other. Like, then we'll learn something. We'll be like, hey, I just learned this. And he'll come to me, hey, I just learned this. And we'll be in there for hours. Then we'll be cold calling at the same time, because, people get analysis paralysis. So they get in there, they be like, oh, I need to learn all the information. We didn't take all the time to learn all the information, because most stuff just trial and error anyway. The people gonna teach you stuff, but it's stuff that you can't learn until you do it yourself. So brother, let me tell you something. You hit us with so many great insights. The first thing I applaud you on is you had said you have to have the proper mindset, right? Because you said, well, you know something, I'm gonna take this approach here, and I'm gonna just every no, it's gonna be a yes, right? I mean, eventually I'll get a yes without giving up, right? Exactly. Okay, so now you fast forward and you got that first deal, right? And I know they always say momentum brings more confidence, right? Yes. So now that you went ahead and you did your thing, that first deal, what was that next 2, 3, 4 deals like? Was it easier or was it more challenging?
Honestly, I feel like it was easier, right? Because once we figured out, because most of the things in wholesaling is about figuring out your market. That's why I tell people market analysis is huge. Once we start figuring out the market, and we did that first deal, we realized, all right, we need to be at this price point to get these things going. Because you think when you start, you'll be like, it ain't nobody buying properties over here, or we just getting stuff on the contract, they're not buying it. No, you probably just don't have it at the right price point. So once we figured that out, we were able to go ahead and get these offer or re-offer other individuals that was interested in selling. So once we figured that out, we went back and just started re-offering people like, hey, we might have been wrong on this analysis, but look, we see that we could give you this much now. And they go with it. And now we've been in the buyer list at the same time, because a lot of people don't cold. Like I tell people, cold call buyers as well. Like they cold call sellers, cold call buyers. So you let them know, hey, I'm calling. I saw you just recently purchased the property here. are you still looking to invest? Because sometimes I come across below market value properties, and I assign them to others. And they be like, what you got right now? I don't have anything, but I'll take your number down. When I get it, I send it out. And that's where it got easy, because now I'm calling these people, and now I'm getting them under contract. I send it to these other individuals. They'll help you get the deal. The buyers, because they want that deal too. So they'll be like, hey, look, your price may be a little too high, but go back, tell them this wrong, get it under contract for this price, and we'll get it for you. And then pretty much what it is.
So to make sure I get you right, for the people in the back. You get a deal, and you say, now I got this deal, and I got to have buyers for it, right? So I don't wait until I actually have the deal. What I do is I have a buyer list ready to go. So all I got to do, so it's a smooth transition, like a handoff playing football, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so we can go to close and touchdown, right?
Real quick.
So do you ever run into a buyer that may say, you know something, I have what I have, but I don't want this property. I made the bad decision. I want to shift it back off. Does it ever come back to you?
I've never had, but it never comes back to me. The reason being, because really you got to be, because buyers feel like they do have some leverage, but at the same time we got leverage because we have what they want as well. So it's not like I really don't do due diligence, right? Due diligence means they have time to go back, look at the property, say they want it or not. Like, no, once you're under contract, you're under contract with me. So I make sure, but what I do is I make sure that they come see it first. I don't send contracts out until you come see the property.
Ooh.
So once you come see the property, you can't come back to me and be like, after you sign this contract with no due diligence, you can't say, hey, I found it. It's I just came back and realized this going on. I gave you a chance to look at it already. You should have said that before you even made the offer.
So let me ask you something. So how, and I like your approach, right? So it's like, I'm not dealing with no headaches.
Yeah.
So how do buyer one say, I want to make sure I get the deal. I don't want you to give it to buyer 2 or 3. So it means I got to rush out there, do whatever I'm gonna do, look at it, make sure everything is good, then say, here's an offer, or here's my money early.
They come out, they take a look at it, they say, here's my offer. And if it's, I make sure you get a proof of funds, of course. But most of the buyers I've been working with now, I got a list of buyers I've been working with, right?
Correct.
But at first, you really don't know. So make sure you get a proof of funds, because we had people back out on deals before, which is really a headache, because it looks bad on you ultimately. And you don't want the thing about wholesaling, you want to make sure that you're providing great services to the people that sell their houses, because sometimes they're in real predicaments where they need to sell their houses. So I'm here to help them out. So that's why I make sure that I'm good on the buyer's end, because I don't want them to do any backing out or anything in that nature. So if they want to get the property, they say, hey, I want the property. I send you a contract after I send you proof of funds, and you make sure you get earnest money to the attorney and by the next day.
Well, you just answered. I was about to say, did you put in any consideration, good faith, EMD, earnest money? So this way the deal stays solidified.
Stay solidified for sure.
And I like your approach and your strategy. How you do wholesaling is because you're considerate to your seller, right?
For sure.
You're considerate, because one is, I'm looking at it, you don't go through with the deal, and we know, and it says it's completely out of your control. But you know, when people don't get what they want, the blame game comes. They blaming everybody. So they mad at you, bad reputation with you, and you don't get no more business from that client or anybody else that client knows.
Exactly. So, and especially the town that I'm in, and usually, especially so I'm in a smaller town, in middle Georgia, and now I expanded to like South Georgia, but it's a small town. So these people own 10 houses, but they other friend own 20 houses. They all own the whole city. So they could go, don't mess with this guy. I worked with him one time. Hey, don't work with this guy. Before he did not close on a deal like he was supposed to, and now your name's burned. You don't want to do that.
So walk us through it, John. You got a deal, and you say 123 Main Street. Buyer one. How long do you give them? You got 24 hours, 10 hours. How long?
For them to come out and take a look at it, or
correct, take a look at it.
Usually we try to make it to. I try to set it up. Key is I try to set it up where all come see it at the same time.
Wow. So you do like open house?
Open house, if I can, because I used to have multiple people that's like, I want the house. So I'm like, all right, cool. Y'all come out. Of course, they gonna raise the bidding price anyway.
I love that. Great strategy.
So they all come out. But so usually I try to get them as soon as possible, because I'm like, hey, I know you want the house, but you're saying you can't see it the next Thursday. But I got another buyer that I also have worked with before that I know they legit. They want to come see it tomorrow. So if you're gonna clear your schedule up or what, like you're gonna try to come see it. Now I'm not saying like, oh, you need to just be here right now, but I'm saying let's try to make it as soon as possible, because if you build a reputation that people know I have my houses, when I get my house on the contract, I usually have them for no more than 2 days. 2 days top, they're gone.
So do the owner, seller, what if they live there? You just work around the schedule and
you work around the schedule. And most of the time I deal with is usually tenant occupied properties. I just let them know, hey, look, I know the tenant's in place. And when we sign this contract, when they sign the contract with me and my contract, it says if it's vacant, you have to allow me to have a lockbox on the property. You have to. And if it has somebody in there, I get the right to come see the property as long as I let you know within 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. And you don't show up and be present. You just give them the code to go look inside if it's vacant.
Yeah, if it's vacant, I just give them the code. Go ahead and take a look at it.
And if the tenants are there or the sellers are there, do you show up or you just let them come?
Oh no, for sure I'm showing up especially if the seller's there. I'm not doing that.
It'd definitely be a side conversation to get you out the deal.
I promise you it will. And it's 9 times out of 10, unless some of my buyers I do trust. Like I have like about 5 buyers I do trust. Like they'll come take a look at it. The buyer could be there and they would tell them, like, I mean, the people could say something to them. The seller could be like, hey, are you buying the property? Or is he buying the property? They'll be like, I'm buying it, but that's my guy. I work with him. So any question you gotta ask him.
I like that. So, I like, because people had these side conversations and be trying to edge you out. Now,
right.
Brother, that's because again, we spend a lot of time wholesale because we could talk all day.
Yeah,
right now, you got me amazed and I'm highly impressed and I'm saluting you on that. Now, the great thing about, and me and you talked about a great book, The One Thing, how you focus on one thing and you leverage that to do other things, because you just said wholesale is the main thing. So now you've made some good money from wholesaling. What was the first thing that you got into? What was that investment? What was it?
Mobile homes.
Mobile homes.
Got in the whole.
So before we talk about mobile homes, tell us, what was that first deal like, and do you wholesale them or do you buy and hold?
It depends. My first deal I did, I want to say I wholesaled it. First deal I did, I definitely wholesaled it. It's pretty smooth. It's simpler than traditional real estate, obviously, because mobile homes are like cars. So you got title, property. Yeah, exactly. You sign it. It's just the title. You don't have to go to an attorney's office to sell it. Sign the back of the title. You give it to the person. Closing could be done in one day. I sold a house in one day, one time. I sold a house.
And what did you make on that?
On that, I made $4,000.
And what did you pay for it? I'm in your business, brother. People got to know.
I got it. I got it under contract for $10,000. She told me she wanted to sell it. I said, I ain't even negotiate. I said, how much you want for it? She said $10,000. I said, okay, give me a chance to go and try to sell it for you. I told her, I'm being honest with you. I said, you know what? I'll buy it at 7.5. But if you want 10, I got some people that'll buy from you for that price, possibly. She's like, all right, cool. I posted on Facebook Marketplace. People hit me. I had like 6 people contact me like that same night. Throughout the night while I was asleep, I woke up to like a whole bunch of messages. They was like, hey, somebody said, can I come out and take a look at it? They came out and take a look at it. They said, you know what, I'll give you, I could have made 5 because they offered me like 15, but I gave her an extra 1,000 because they wanted the appliances. So they literally just was like, all right, cool, we can go to the bank, get the cash. She signed the back of the title. They bought it the next day.
Quick commercial break. If you're interested in a career in real estate or you're a seasoned vet, you might want to change. New environment. You don't like the atmosphere you're in. The Headley Group Realty could be there to assist you with your career. What do we offer? Great culture, great environment, leads, and an awesome commission structure. Let us be there to support your business. One thing, you got to be in the state of North Carolina. Let's get back to the show. So let's break that down. Within a 24-hour period, you put on the contract. You had a contract on it.
Mm-hmm. You had a contract on it.
Had a contract on it to actually buy. Okay, contract on it, but you never actually signed the title. You let the new buyer sign it.
Yes,
got you. Just had the contract.
Because I signed the contract. The contract I signed, it's like it's buyer optionee. It says it on there. Now I do have a contract. I just signed a bill of sale if I'm going to buy it. But since I got a personal
property.
Yes, exactly. But for this one, I just went on ahead and signed the buyer option. They gave me the option basically try to sell this within 90 days. Really, they give you that long. They will give you that long.
Sweet. So $4,000 first deal, and you like, man, this is a good deal. So what was the momentum like immediately after that with the next one?
All right, so immediately after that, I had another deal, expensive mobile home. Mobile home was worth like 45, but I got under contract for like 30, 38, but they ended up buying it for like 40. So that was a quick 2,000, pretty quick move. So
let me interject on that. A lot of times people have certain margins they like to be at, right?
Right.
I guess with you, if it's a profit, you don't care. I'm on it.
Most of the time with mobile homes, yes, of course, because mobile homes, you're only gonna make so much on it anyway. Now, there's times where you make 5, you make 10,000, but most times your profit is not really going to be that big, right? It's not going to be that big. But the profit margin I like trying to be at with mobile homes like 3 to 5,000. That's pretty cool because I get mobile home leads by mistake. Like they live by mistake. People just call me and be like, they may have my card or something. They might just call me out of nowhere, or I send mail blast out really for mobile homes because I don't.
Brother, let's skip over that.
Okay.
Mail blast, the marketing, right?
Marketing, right? That's my marketing.
Well, I just want to know. I want to finish this up, but you send mail blasts out. Is it digitally or just regular
mail? That's the best way for mobile home because with mobile homes, you can't really skip trace who owns mobile home because these mobile homes are usually in parks. Now, if it's on land, that's different. But if it's in a park, they're all under one address. So you have to mail blast the owners when I do that. And then they may call me the next day or they may call me 4 months, 5 months down the line.
And the response time is what?
The response time, usually you start getting calls within like 2 weeks after you sent it out. And then there you have people that's ready to sell then. But the good thing about it is they still keep your letter. I have one under contract right now that they called me 2 days ago, and I sent this letter back out. I think I want to say last September, October, and they people still calling me now like, hey, I didn't want to sell then, but I got it now.
I'm interested now.
So, but you got it. So, but with that, you got to understand, I'm not just doing mobile homes. I literally do wholesale. That's my main thing.
Correct.
And then I bought my next deal. I ended up buying the house and I flipped it.
Flipped it. Wow, got you. So is there any property, speaking of flipping, that you saw where the margins was so sweet, you said, I got to put a little bit of money in this and just to get a huge profit? You ever
For sure. Okay. I had the first deal I flipped, I had bought one I could have got it for free. This is my fault though, because the people called me and they were like, hey, I got this mobile home for sale and I pretty much slept on it, right? They didn't want it anymore. They was just like, we just don't want to deal with it anymore. My uncle that lived in there passed away and we just have the title. So, I mean, if you want it, you can get it. I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'll go take a look at it later. I never got to it. But one day I said, you know what, let me call these people back. I was just going through some of my follow-ups and I was like, let me call them back and see if they still got it. They was like, oh, we don't have it anymore. We end up giving it to the park for free. So I was like, all right, cool. Went to the park on the park manager and I was just like, I give you $900 for it. And he was just like, okay, cool. Bought the mobile home for $900. And then I put maybe $2,000 in it and sold it for $8,000.
So right now, how many deals you got under contract now?
Right now, for mobile homes?
No, just mobile, wholesale and mobile.
Wholesale and mobile home. I have about 5 under contract right now. 5
under contract. Because you in and out, in and out.
Yeah, I mean, right? I used to have, I close my deals pretty fast. Like I get them under once I get them under contract, they're gone within 2 days. Cause I know it's a good deal. Like there's no, is this a good deal or not? No, I know it is. So.
Okay, so let's shift over. Do you do any buy and holding with real estate, single family? Yes,
I have. I'm not necessarily buy and hold, but I do creative financing.
Okay.
So I do things like subject to, basically I'm buying subject to the existing mortgage. I try to do creative finance and then seller financing because the only reason is because I don't want to put any of my money into it, right? That kind of makes no sense to me because if I get a house, I get houses for free. That's what I say. I get houses for free.
Okay, so walk us through a deal with the subject to, so somebody in the back can get a good insight what that means. What are you saying?
Okay, so what I'm saying is, people have mortgages on homes, right? Sometimes, and they want to sell. Those people are in desperate situations, but sometimes they're upside down. So, or it's not enough profit margin for me as a wholesaler to make any money off of it. It's just not. And a lot of wholesalers will walk away from it. They'll be like, I really can't make no money on this because they owe 100,000, but it's only worth 98.
Right.
So you're upside down, so they can't do anything with that. See, with me, when you find out these creative financing things, people can't do regular seller finance, but I can do subject too. So I told them it's on 140 Parker Drive. You can look it up. It's in my name. It's in Given Investments LLC, right? Mm-hmm. What I did was I told the lady, I say, listen, we really can't give you a cash offer for this, but what we can do is I can take over your mortgage, which I'm gonna explain what subject to is basically. I said, but you never want to use the word subject to. I say, you know what? I could take over your mortgage. No, I could take over the deed of the property. Right? Mm-hmm. So, like, look, you deed the property over to me. You keep the mortgage in your name, and I'll just take care of those payments for you. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'm basically promising them that I'm going to take care of the payments that you need to make that you don't want to make anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take care of that, but I just need the deed in my name. So I could take care of all the taxes for you, any repairs that's wrong with the house or anything like that, I'll do that for you. And they usually go, you know what? Okay, some people, of course, like I said, it's a numbers game. She said yes for this particular property. I said, okay, cool. I said, I close next week. We got the title ran, just like a regular deal. I went, it's more paperwork, obviously, but it's not that much more. It's very basic paperwork. And most of the paperwork is saying, hey, do you know that you are deeding this property over to this guy right here, but you're keeping the mortgage in your name? That's basically all they're saying. So it just protects you, right? So they can't ever go to court and be like, I didn't know what I was doing. I got this on 5 different papers that saying you read and knew what they was doing and you signed all of them.
Okay.
So, and I just gave her, she didn't want any money down, but I told her, you know, I give her $1,000 down. The reason being because you want to be able to protect yourself because they took some collateral. So just in case they want to go to court or something, they would ask them, hey, did you take any money for this or something? And if they say yes, they're gonna be like, well, you sold the house. So it's my house. And then now I got somebody living in there. I do lease options. So I gave her $1,000, but I had somebody move in the next week because there was not much work to do, no work to do to it really. Had somebody move in the next week. They gave me $7,000 down. Right? Just to have the option to buy the house, but they're leasing it for a year. So they gave me $7,000 down to say, you know what, just in case I do want to buy this house, here's $7,000. It's non-refundable. You can't get it back. If you move out, you can't get it back. So I was in the profit. I was in green already. And then I had the mortgage was like $600. I had them paying me $900 a month. So I'm cash flowing a little something too. So it's like I call it a wholesale deal that I just stay in. I just stay in the wholesale deal. Because when they move out.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, so when they move out, they moved out actually. They moved out. All I did was the same thing. These people gave me $5,000 down, and they're paying me the same thing every month. So every year, if they decide they don't want to buy the house or they can't, they didn't fix their credit, they can't go to get a loan. The house just come back to me, and I just do it all over again.
And you have no liability in terms of repairs and none of that.
Nope, because that's why. Because I don't want to be a landlord. That's why I do lease option. Because I could just rent it out regular, but lease option is like, this is your property. And then the lease, it literally says, I'm not responsible for any repairs because your interest is to buy this property. So yeah, you can paint the walls, whatever color you want to. You can do all that stuff, but do not call me and ask me to fix anything.
So what about this here? What about, and I understand definitely the pluses to that, but what if there's a situation where they don't honor and they don't move forward? Now they didn't destroy the property. So much the profits you got to put back into get it back up to livable.
So they have to. If they don't, it always says in the contract. That's why you always do contracts. Like I love contracts. Mm-hmm. You have to give me the house in not in the possession you got it or better. So in the same condition that you got it in or better. If not, you have to fix that stuff. If you don't, then I'm probably gonna take you to court. You have to fix it.
So do you go through that extent of taking them to court?
I don't have the problem.
You haven't had the issue.
The reason being, this is why I do lease option as well, because people think, not only because I don't want to be a landlord, but people take better care of their stuff if they think if it's theirs. It's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. So if they're renting out your house, of course, it's not my house. He has to come fix this stuff. I don't care. But if it's theirs, they're going to take more pride in it because this is something I'm finna buy. This is where I live. This is my first purchase. So they're not going to go and destroy, punch holes in the walls, tear up plumbing. They're not going to do that. And if they do, if anything, they're just going to make it better because they want to make it better for when they live there.
So let me ask them here, because I know some investors would do this, and it's not the best practice, but they'll make the purchase price so high that they know end of the day people may not buy it, right? So has it been a situation where you actually went through a wholesale, or no, they don't end up buying? Really?
Most of the time, and unfortunately, most of the time, people aren't just financially literate. They're just not. So when I'm telling them you have a year, or maybe sometimes I like the people I got in there now, they're 2 years, because I say get your credit right in this time span, right? And I tell them where to go, or things to do that they can do to get their credit right within that time span. And I tell them I will also vouch for them when they try to go get the loan and say, hey, look, this they've been paying every month on time to me. I feel like they can't buy the house. And the banks really listen to that, because they're like, okay, since he's the one they're buying it from him, and they've been listening out for a year or two, they must have some type of dependency. We could depend on them paying their mortgage on time.
Wow. So, and you got a nice sizable down payment, and you get in and take care of the monthly payments, and you got no risk at all in terms of with the property. Wow.
In terms of the property, and then I have no risk of the mortgage. Like I said, the mortgage is in my name. This won't happen, but I mean, if something was to happen where I can't pay it anymore, nothing. I have literally nothing in my name, so it doesn't make with my debt to income ratio. Just in case I want to go get something else, it's not in my name.
You say, hold on, what's not in your name?
The mortgage is not in my name, but really? The house is in my name.
Who name is the mortgage in?
The seller, the person that sold me the house, that did it.
Oh, that's subject to.
That's subject to.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Phenomenal. So now let's shift over. You made money, mobile investing, Airbnb. Now let's get to the juicy part. Right. I see that you do car investing in terms of rental. What made you get into that, and how many cars you got hit on the road right now?
What made me get into this? I was just listening to. I had a rental car already.
What is it? Turo. Okay.
Right, and I had a car on hire car though, so I had bought an extra car just because. Like, this was before I started. Matter of fact, this is before I started doing mobile homes. Now that I think about it,
okay,
this is actually before I started doing mobile homes. I just don't think of it because it was literally just out all the time, and it was just paying every day. I never even saw the car. I sold it down because it was just like, but I literally never seen the car. I was getting like $60 a day.
Wow.
And people have it for 3 months. I get it back. Somebody else have it for another 3 months. So I'm literally getting that all the time. And I only paid $3,500 for the car.
Wow.
So therefore, I made my money back.
How much profit do you think you made off of that?
On that car, I probably made at least $6,000 profit.
Okay.
At least. And then plus I sold it. So I made like an extra $2,000 on top of it. $2,500 on top of it.
Gotcha. How many cars you got out there right now?
Right now, I have six cars.
Six.
Right. And I got it. Now the way I got it to Toro, because I was like, I already got a rental car, and I kept saying, I need to just go and give me some more cars, because I see how this one is producing. So it wasn't nothing like I just jumped out there and bought 5-6 cars. I had one that was already producing for me for more than a year. So I'm like, this makes too much sense for me not to go get no more. I just wasn't thinking about it because I was so deep into real estate. But I had capital, so I could go get a couple cars and put them out there. So I just go finance the cars. So got a BMW, Mustang, Jeep, got some Toyota, then another Toyota, Impala, Jaguar, something like that. So.
What would you recommend the make and model and age of car if somebody's interested in getting in?
So if you want to get into this game, your car can't be more than 10 years old.
Can't be 10 more years old. Okay.
Yeah, because the apps won't let you put it on there.
Okay.
Make and model. Well, now since I've been doing it, I think the best thing to do is get like Hondas. Like luxury cars are fine, because you will see a lot of people that go, hey, I'm driving this Lamborghini, right? And I don't pay for it. Or I'm driving this Mercedes, I don't pay for it. But which we got those cars and stuff, right? But the thing is, those other cars, those low profile cars, they're going more often because people could pay for that more often.
Can afford that.
Yep. And then the repairs and the upkeep of the car are so cheap. So it's better just to go and have those Honda, those Toyotas, those Hyundais, They last a long time. They easy to upkeep, and people get them all the time. Like they stay going. Like I have a regular, like a 2020 Jeep Renegade, small car, small little Jeep. It stays going more than my BMW and my Mustang put together. Like it's always going.
What would you say you make off of that car?
Off of that car, I probably make around profit. Probably make like not 800 to 1,000 a month profit.
800 to 1,000 profit
a month.
Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. Profit after expenses, after everything, a month.
Gotcha. And paint a picture. What does expenses look like?
All right, so gas. People don't talk about that. Got to put gas, but that's usually if you drive the car. I just drive my car just because. But most of the time, once you get the car back, it's already they filled up. Or you go to Toro, and Toro actually reimburse you if they did not fill the gas back up. Right. Then you got oil changes, which is every blue moon. You don't have that many oil changes. Correct. Maybe every 2-3 months, maybe. Then you got insurance. That's the thing. That's like, because me being so young, I'm only 21, so insurance is ridiculous, especially like sports cars.
Exactly.
Right. So insurance maybe around. I used to pay for like 6 months, but a month it'd be like 1,300, maybe 15. So that's usually how much that is. And then you got car notes because I finance them. So you got car notes.
Okay.
And the car notes probably added for each one. They range from, well, I only have two that had car notes on them, and that ran together that maybe around 1,200, 1,300. But the cars are both bringing in, over $1,000 a month profit.
So how much you said?
They every month they probably bring in about 2,000, so a piece. So they all take care of the expenses. I take my profit on top, so I make around like 3, 4, 5,000 a month. That's off of that.
Okay, so out of all the vehicles you got, how much you say you making profit?
Out of all the vehicles, I probably make around 3,500, 4,500 a month. It depends on the month, because some months be hotter than others, and stuff like that.
Correct. So. And you would recommend cars 10 years? No, 10 years old?
10 years or younger.
Or younger.
And have no more than 70,000 miles on it. Try to keep it low. Try to keep
7,000 miles. Does Jeep perform better than cars?
The Jeep?
Yes.
I think it does. I think it does.
Okay. And what? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But now, if you put them on hire car, though, I feel like that's the play. Honestly, if you ask me, you go get you a car. Hire car it's how they got. You got Uber, you got Uber Eats, you got all those Grubhub stuff like that. Lyft. Those people need cars to work. Sometimes they don't have cars, or their cars might break down or something like that. But they still got to keep working. So what they'll do is they'll rent a car from you, right? Rent a car from you, and they'll keep your car. They'll pay you $60 a day, $50 a day, $70 a day. But the thing is, that's okay for them, because these I don't know if people know, but Uber drivers and Grubhub drivers, they make good money.
Correct.
They're making $300, $400 a day. They're okay with paying you your 70 and 50 because you're helping them out.
Correct.
So it's kind of like you guys helping each other out. That's what it's all about. Peer-to-peer platforms now.
Correct. So what was the dollar amount would you say a person should pay in the purchase getting finance? Don't pay no more than about to really get a profit. 10,000, 15,000, what?
For getting finance, it depends on credit. Depends on your credit, first of all, because finance is like way different.
Correct.
And because the lower, I just worry about your payments more so than the whole purchase.
That makes sense.
Right. So, and there's of course different cars. So you might, if you get it, because I almost got a Maserati, but I end up getting a Mustang instead.
Really? Okay.
That was around the same price range. The Maserati the Mustang was newer, but the Maserati I was driving the test drive, and I was literally about to buy it, but the check engine light was on, and I was just like, and then the dealer had talked to me, and he was just like, look, man, honestly, I was at BMW dealership, and they was like, for what you're doing, I honestly probably wouldn't recommend you getting this. And he lost his sale because of that. And I appreciate that, because I went to another dealership and got a car. He literally was just like, I like what you guys are doing. He was older white dude. He was just like, I like what you guys are doing. But he was like, those oil changes around $500 for the oil change. So I was like, yeah, you just saved me one, because I was about to buy it.
About to buy.
So I say stay in between it. So it depends what car. So say if you got a upscale luxury car, You know, if you got a payments of between 400, 500, almost 6, you'll be all right. The reason being is because people are going to pay you $100 a day or pay 105. So your payment's going to get taken care of after like 5 days of it being rented out.
Wow.
So, okay. But if you got a economy car, Toyota or something, try to keep your payments, I'd say between 3. If you get low, of course, but I like to be kind of high, just so people go, they may get lower. But between 3 and 400, because they might go around for 60 a day, but you'll make your money back and profit.
Hey guys, thank you for watching our show. We're going to interrupt you real quickly. We are in the business of referrals. If you know someone looking to buy or sell, residential or commercial, here in the North Carolina area, refer us. We really appreciate that. So brother, let me tell you something. Let's shift into which we were on the last segment, Airbnb. Okay, tell us about Airbnb. How many do you own, and what made you say I want to segment into this part of real estate investing?
Okay, so I have two Airbnbs right now. Got started probably about 2 months ago. No, 3 or 4 months ago. I can't really remember. I got 2 at different times. But what made me get into this, I started realizing just from the cars alone, you start realizing how much the peer-to-peer platform, like how much it is. Like the peer-to-peer thing is crazy, right? So I'm like, this is ridiculous. So all I did was, I don't even own them. I just got apartments, right? Just get apartments. Got an apartment. They're here in Atlanta. They're in Atlanta. And I just saw people doing it, and I was just like, of course, I don't jump in stuff just because it looks good, right?
Correct.
Because some people just jump in stuff like, oh, it looks good. Correct. But I actually, my acquisition manager for my real estate company, she actually has an Airbnb. So I was like, tell them about this Airbnb, right? So she started telling me about it and this stuff, and she was talking about the profit that you can make and how she can help us or whatever and help me. So I was just like, hey, I mean, why not? That's pretty much what happened. Correct. I was like, why not go and do it? Get some extra income coming in, right? Because, ultimately that's what it's about. Because wholesaling is all good and everything like that. You get big cash, you get good cash, right? And me being only 21, I did over 100 deals at this point.
Wow, 100 deals.
Yes.
21 years old, over 100 deals.
Yes.
Better get a round of applause like that, brother.
And that's not
fabulous thing.
Thank you. And that's not even considering the mobile homes, not the ones that are not the subject to deals. That's just wholesale deals alone. So of course, I got a substantial amount of money sitting, but it's all about having that passive income. That's how you become financially free, because I find myself working so much doing wholesaling. And I'm like, golly, how can I try to offset so I can get some of my time back, basically? Correct. Right? Just got to get some of my time back. So I said, you know what, let me go and get some Airbnbs now. That's going to add on top of the mobile homes that I got, and they pay me for with seller financing. I got, my subject to properties. And then I have rental cars that's bringing me some in. I teach people sometimes. And then and that brings on top with the Airbnbs. So I'm like, I got to get to $10,000 a month as soon as possible. Right. So I'm trying to get there. So at this, and passively, that's what I mean. $10,000 a month. Passively. Correct. So I had the Airbnb. I found some apartments, saw a good area. You want to make sure it's in a good area, and you got to make sure it's close to some good stuff. It's good surrounding, and you got to make sure that the rent if you're going to do the rental arbitrage way. So you want to make sure that the rent is sufficient enough to where you can be able to go out there and make on top of it, right? So you don't want to go get something that costs $2,000 a month just because it looks good and looks great, right, and then you don't make any profit because you may break even. You don't want to do that. So you gotta make sure it's in a good area. And once I got it, I furnished it. I realized how low entry point it was, and I just realized how you really don't have to pay anything. You make your money back fast. So pretty profitable. So.
Wow. Let me tell you something, brother. You definitely have enlightened us with some great insight, man. I mean, to be 21 years old, 100 deals, wholesaling, mobile investing, the car rental, Airbnbs, you were definitely going to get that 10 to 20 grand as long as you keep it up at that pace.
Right, exactly.
Mike, every time we end the show, we always ask the guest to give us 2 golden nuggets, right? Whether that be a scripture, book, a quote, or something that inspired you to make you to continue doing what you're doing. Talk to the people to the front and in the back. Give them something. Go ahead and go.
Okay. So let me think. I won't ready for this. But one thing I like to say is, do what you see is best for you, right? Go in the field where you think is best for you, right? Because a lot of people try to come to me and they be like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And I'm like, well, which one do you want to do? Because what you'll do is you'll spread yourself thin and you won't even enjoy it. Make sure that you're able to manage your time and you're able to do what makes you happy ultimately. Nothing's going to be easy. Nothing's going to be given to you.
Correct.
That's just anything. A lot of people think it's get rich fast, right? But it's not that. It's literally for the long haul. It's fun to get money. It's fun to do all these things. But ultimately, you want to be able to make sure you can take care of your loved ones. Make sure you can take care of yourself. And make sure you can enjoy it and have some time to have freedom, right? And that's what it's all about. So make sure you just enjoy what you do.
Well, brother, let me tell you something. You are definitely alumni to the show, and we're going to ask you to come on back. And you know, I like the rapport that we had, and like I said, we want to continue that up.
For sure. Listen, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, listen, brother, we thank you and the audience. So listen, you all, this is Mike Headley on the Headley Group Real Estate Show. We are ending this show off good with a good young man, Michael Baker Jr., with Given Investments. We'll see you all next time on the Headley Group Real Estate Show.